Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Baraka the Collector here, coming back to you with another video, a Marvel Legends video today, believe it or not. Today, we're going to be kicking off a series on the channel that I've been meaning to start for a long time, and I'm going to be calling it the Reflection Series, the Marvel Legends Reflection Series, in which we're basically I'm going to take a movie, any sort of Marvel MCU movie, and then take all of the figures that I have from it, and then sort of recap them in a, maybe I could, like, as a way to sort of, like, talk about figures that I haven't before, maybe I missed, or figures I've changed my opinion on. Really, it's just a way for me to get more content out into the channel, you know what I'm saying? Because I figure I got the time. So today we're going to be kicking it off with Black Panther. So Black Panther is actually, Black Panther 2018 is one of the more, I would say groundbreaking MCU movies. It actually got nominated for a few Oscars, and I think it actually won one, if I remember. I think it won either best costume or best soundtrack, which honestly either of which would be incredibly deserved. The costume design in this movie is absolutely phenomenal, as we're going to see in some of these figures that we're about to show, and also the music just Ludwig Göransson, is that how you say it? I think he's South African, I believe. He composed Black Panther along with the Mandalorian. So if you're not familiar with him, that's his track record, literally. So anyway, um so today we're going to be sort of reviewing the Black Panther movie figures. So the Black Panther Marvel Legends line sort of started out with the movie figures, the first wave being released December 2017. That's when people started to find it. And that wave consisted of a Black Panther, a Nakia, it was a Koye, and yeah, those were the only Black Panther. Oh, and Killmonger. Those were the only Black Panther movie figures in there. And then after the movie was released, it was actually kind of a funny story that Dwight Stahl, the product design leader on the Marvel Legends team, sort of said, he told to people a few months ago. He was just like, so yeah, after that movie came out, corporate came up to us. They were just like, yo, we love Black Panther, so we love those Black Panther figures. So where's Wave 2? Then they were just like, we don't have a Wave 2. And then they said, no, where is Wave 2? Kind of like a subtle hint, like, get to work on it. And then I think it was by SDCC 2018, we had seen some images of Wave 2, them showing off, I think it was this figure and a few other figures we're going to get to. And then after that, they also released some different 2-packs and everything. So just great figures for the Black Panther line, as you expect from a multi-billion or a billion-dollar blockbuster movie. Smash hit, and we're going to look over those today. I figure now would be as great a time as any, considering that there is a new Black Panther movie well on the way, and a legacy line that is just dropped recently. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do them in order. Of course, I have to have the figures first. There's a few of them that I do not have. For example, covering Wave 1, the only figure I have from Black Panther Wave 1 is actually our Nakia here. And that's because Wave 1, really, by the time that I had started getting into Marvel Legends like big, Wave 1 was a wave that I didn't really need, considering how they had already had it announced the Vibranium Black Panther we're going to be getting into, and just a lot of the figures that I already have were announced at back then, or at least I could get my hands on them. I didn't need a Killmonger because the 2-pack version with Everett Ross came out, which we're going to get to, and it was just like Wave 1, I had seen all of it, and the only thing I really wanted was Okoye, which I guess we can get to after this. But first we're going to start off with Nakia here, and Nakia came out right when photo printing tech was in some of its earlier years, some of its premier years. I think that this was like the first or second year of photoreal tech. 2017 was the first year of it, and this figure was it wasn't officially released in 2017, but people had seen it by then. So the wave came out about 2 to 3 months before the movie, which is ordinary with most Marvel Legends waves. And this figure was great. This is actually one of my first few Marvel Legends figures. I think it was one of the first 10 that I picked up. I got this lady here at a GameStop. Magnificent detailing in the face. Look at that face sculpt. That looks just like Lupita. This is 2018. Honestly, when that face sculpt came in, man, I'm telling you, it improved a lot of figures, because I can't imagine what our friend Nakia here would look like without this photo printing face tech. But she also came with I think it was Okoye's torso. And so yeah, they're her accessories there. I don't believe these might not be the actual hula hoop. I don't know what these weapons are called. Maybe it's something vibranium or something. But I don't believe that these are the actual weapons that she came with. I think that hers were different. They weren't this green one like right here. This is actually the hula hoop weapons that came with the Dora Milaje figure. But I love Nakia here. Look at all that detailing on the chest. The Dora Milaje costume design is just absolutely fantastic. And Nakia here, along with the paint too, there's some like orange, like it almost looks like dust, but it's also like shiny and metallic looking. Just yeah, Nakia's costume here, this figure looked great back then. The texturing and the detailing, I just wish that maybe some more paint could be applied around here, but we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later, of course. So yeah, there's Nakia. They're the only figure I actually have from Wave 1. The other two we'll sort of talk about in a minute because they're similar sculpts to ones that we already have. And I did almost try to complete Okoye. The only thing I was missing was the head and one of the legs. But yeah, I just never got around to it, completing Okoye. Which, you know what, I'm not too sad about because I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting another one this year with the second Black Panther movie wave. But Nakia here was a great figure. For a while, this was one of my favorites because just the face printing on this figure was absolutely magnificent. And it just looked amazing. Look at that. Nakia. But they released a better version, which we're going to get to in a second. So anyways, yeah, that's basically Wave 1 right there for you, right there. So yeah, it was Okoye, Nakia, Black Panther, and Killmonger. And then I think also it released with Invincible Iron Man, Black Bolt, and Namor, which honestly, we might be getting Marvel Legends of MCU versions of soon. Not even gonna lie, sooner rather than later. But anyways, now next up, I believe it was the 2-pack. So I think it was summer 2018. This 2-pack was released with, as you can see, a different version of, whoops, a different deco for Killmonger. And Everett Ross. So this was a Target exclusive 2-pack. And honestly, it was a great set. If you missed out on the first version of Killmonger, or you just wanted this different updated deco version. Although one thing I will say is that the deco on this version, I don't think it's actually as realistic as the original. You see, the deco on this version is more like the Hot Toys. And the Hot Toys one, you can actually see a lot of these stripes here are painted. But in the movie, I actually don't think that it was like that, at least until he was powering up his vibranium and he would explode like that. But this figure back still, it had great detailing. I believe it had some minor differences from the original version in texturing in some places, but the paint on this one is a little bit weird in the sense that the paint on this one is sort of like a it's like a navy bluish. It has a navy bluish tint to it. I don't know if it really shows up that well on camera. It probably just looks black on cam, but the overall figure itself just had a navy bluish tint. So look at that. That looks good, though. I like the necklace. This is the Golden Jaguar outfit, I believe, is what it was called. And yeah, he just looks great. This was a great Killmonger. So this is the reason why I didn't pick up the version in the regular wave back then. I believe I got this 2-pack set. It was the end of 2018. I got it on clearance at Target. That was back when Marvel Legends waves were... Marvel Legends in general were just everywhere, still in stock. You could, if you wanted them, you could get them. Until all the, you know, COVID and all these distribution things. But remember those times, right? That was pretty nice. A Marvel Legends wave would be announced, and then, shoot, by next week, people would have them, find them in Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that. Or honestly, it felt like, sometimes it just felt like they were announcing this stuff after people had found them. 2018, because that's when Marvel Legends were coming out rapid fire. But yeah, this guy came with some good accessories. He came with some interchangeable hands, some interchangeable claws, and 2 weapons, as well as 2 holding hands for that. I don't think that he came with any fists, though, which is sad because all Marvel Legends come with fists, if you ask me. And Everett Ross here, oh, he also came with the first unmasked head sculpt. I believe it looked like something like, let's see. It looked, let's see if I have my Michael B. Jordan head sculpt in here. My Marvel Legends accessory bin is quite large. So bear with me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Where's a Michael B. Jordan head? Any one of them. One great thing about Marvel Legends, I'm not complaining about it. It's taken me a while to find this head, but honestly, that's a good thing. All these interchangeable heads and just the options that you have for posing with your Marvel Legends makes them so much more appealing that way. Because I can tell you right now, only one of my Star Wars figures has interchangeable heads. Probably one or two of them. Ah, here it is. So there's your Michael B. Jordan face sculpt. And that looks just like him. It really does. That's not the actual hairdo that he had when he had fought Black Panther in the final battle, though. Which is unfortunate that we actually still don't have that head sculpt. Even with the updated Legacy Collection Killmonger. So yeah, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. But honestly, this was a great Killmonger figure. And back then you had options, whether you wanted the leopard sort of looking one with the actual detail on the chest, or whether you wanted this one with the yellow stripes, the golden stripes. So yeah, that's great. And Everett Ross here, look at that photoreal tech once again. Coming straight through, looks just like Martin Freeman. Isn't Martin Freeman the voice of Gollum, I believe? So there's your Gollum action figure, the closest thing that you have to one in the Marvel Legends line, I guess. This is, of course, the chameleon body mold, though, which is very unfortunate. Although one thing I can appreciate about this figure, though, is that he did come with a gun. I don't have him with it right now, but it was, came with a nice little pistol, little service pistol, and it looked good on him. It really did. I'm glad that he didn't come with any accessories. And honestly, I don't know what other figure they could have given him. Maybe they could have given him his outfit when he was sort of piloting the Royal Talon. But honestly, I think that most people would have just liked this suit outfit because you have more options with this. You could put him into a Civil War display or, you know, keep him with your Black Panther figures. But this was a nice little figure to have. And I love when they do figures like this, just more regular civilian looking people throughout the movies. But as I said, this 2-pack came out in the summer, and by then they had announced a wave 2 of Black Panther. So we're gonna get into that next. The M'Baku Build-A-Figure wave, I believe, was the first all-movie Marvel Legends wave to see a domestic release. Of course, before this, we had, I think it was the best of waves that were exclusive to the UK and some other west eastern countries in terms to the Atlantic Ocean. But I think that the M'Baku wave was the first actual all-movie, all-MCU domestic release wave that we had here for Marvel Legends, at least in a while. And it did not disappoint. It had plenty of new sculpts, plenty of great figures to go through here. And honestly, I think it was when I was, yeah, that was when I was fully getting, like, really into Marvel Legends, like, for real, for real. Because this wave released also the same time with the Captain Marvel movie stuff. And, you know, it was just, it was great living in 2019. You had plenty of movie figures coming out and so many being announced. So, honestly, I think with this wave, the first figure, I remember the exact first figure I picked up, I think it was the first week of January. It was this Vibranium Black Panther. This was the Black Panther I was waiting for. Because I love, absolutely love, love, love the purple outlines here. It just looks so different, so unique. Look at the texturing on that figure. Look at that. That is beautiful. It's the exact same sculpt as the other one, the one that released in the regular wave, but it had a massively, massively updated face sculpt. Because honestly, with this wave in 2019, personally, I think it was when the photoreal tech was at its peak. Because we were getting, I think it was just the fact that we had gone from such horrible faces to such amazing faces so drastically, and now the bar is set a lot higher. So I think that's why I say 2019 is when the photoreal tech was at its absolute best, because absolutely every single face that we got was better than the face before it, without a doubt. An example being this Chadwick Boseman face. I do not have the original Black Panther to compare with you guys, but we had actually had two T'Challa faces before this. We had one that came with the Civil War version of this suit, which is basically this one right here. This is like a re-release of it with the new head sculpt. And then we had also had the 2018 wave version that had come with the, I'll say, a better face, but not a good face necessarily at all. And it did have face printing tech on it. But they had come out with this new sculpt and put out so much better paint into the face, and it just looks so much better. Look at that. That looks, honestly, to this day, I still think that this is by far one of the best faces that they've done in terms of Chadwick Boseman likenesses. In terms of likenesses in general, this just looks absolutely amazing. Look at that. And if you had got the whole wave, you'd have two of these faces to use with different Black Panther figures. Look at that, just it's scary how much that looks like him. But yeah, so this figure came with some interchangeable hands. He came with the fists, of course, two of these claw hands on either, you know, hand. And it was just a great looking piece. It was a great looking piece. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. I think that this was one of the figures that was double packed in this wave. But every single figure had a Build-A-Figure piece. This was a 6-figure wave. So like it wasn't 7 like how it usually is. But it was beautiful. This figure went up in price so much after Chadwick Boseman passed, unfortunately. But it's absolutely amazing. Amazing piece. And that segues into the rest of the wave. So I think that I got this figure first. I got it January that year, January 2019. And then I think the next figure I actually picked up was Ulysses Claw over here. Because back then I didn't have nearly as many Marvel Legends as I do now. But back then I think I had it separated like in terms of heroes and villains. As now I actually just have them all on one shelf. And I have it separated in like movies and eras and, you know, etc., stuff like that. But this claw face, look at that. Andy Serkis completely. This wave, just every single face that it released, every single face that it had looked just like the actors and actresses. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous, the amount of paint on this face. Look at that. Just look at the detailing. Looks all battle damn. He got the scar on his head. It just looks absolutely amazing. As for the rest of the body, though, oh, he even has that vein back there. I didn't even notice that. That's crazy. He also has his tattoos on his arms. He had a watch as well, I believe. Maybe this is it. He had a watch on one of his arms. Maybe I'm thinking about a different figure. But as for the rest of the body, though, this is basically just chameleon again, at least in terms of the legs. This figure was hard to stand. I actually have it set up in a different pose right now. The thing about this chameleon body is that it's better actually to stand posing dynamically. Like if you have the legs spread and you have the feet apart, then it's actually easier to pose that way. But if you just try to pose it standing up straight, will not stand at all. But I like this figure. It came with a an interchangeable sort of, I think it was a vibranium cannon arm. So that's a cool accessory right there. And he also came with the gun as well, which was very nice. He came with a nice little pistol. It was just a great figure. A great figure. Look at that. Definitely necessary for your villain shelf, I'll say. MCU villains, with Ulysses appearing in 2 movies. Was not expecting him to die in Black Panther. Spoiler alert, sorry, but y'all already knew what it was. And I think I finished the wave, or at least I had made significant progress on the wave a few months later with my findings of these 3 figures we're finna talk about. First one being this tactical suit Killmonger. And now holding him here, I realize how much larger he is than the other figures. This figure is not 100% new sculpt. I believe that the legs are reused from something. I don't know exactly what. He's reused from another figure. Oh, I think he takes some parts from the Mandarin, but I don't know if the Mandarin takes parts from some other figures. I believe he might. Regardless, though, it still looked like a great figure. Some great paint, great sculpt. Look at that. Look at his tactical belt right there. This figure is just very large, though. I'm realizing it now. Might actually be too big. Maybe the helmet is making him look bigger. Yeah, okay, yeah. When I take that off, that starts to look more appropriate. But as for the detailing, though, this figure looks great. Take a look. He even has his watch. He's able to move it around. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? And just painted gear all over him. It's unfortunate that none of these accessories are removable. It'd be nice if he came with a little pistol. Which actually he might have. I think he did come with the separate pistol as well. So yeah, never mind. I take that back. I think he came with his own pistol. I'm pretty sure he did. But yeah, beautiful Killmonger figure, honestly. I'm pretty sure that this is the same Michael B. Jordan head that they used on the other one, though. That they used on the one that came with the 2-pack that I just showed y'all earlier. But as for that, look at that. That looks like a great figure. I love some of the metallic little paint he has on some of these straps right here on his vest. That looks beautiful. He has like a gunmetal gray on the vest right there. The light reflects off of that real well. Looks good. Looks good. I like that. Definitely one of the best Killmonger figures that we got. Phew. And these next two figures were welcome additions to any Black Panther display. I'm telling you, this Black Panther Wave 2, it came in clutch as far as completing this movie line. I'm pretty sure that Black Panther is one of the most fulfilled movie lines that we have. I think other than this and Eternals, there's only a few figures that we actually need that you could actually say that we didn't get from the Black Panther movie. I think we never got a Wakabi. And really other than that, I can't really think of much. I mean, you could think about some maybe border tribe, or sorry, M'Baku. What is M'Baku's tribe called again? The Jabari, right. I don't think you could say that we didn't get some more Jabari members, but really, who do you need besides M'Baku, who we'll get to in a second? But anyways, yeah, so these two figures were figures that I was not expecting to get, or at least not expecting to have announced back then, because I totally thought that after 2018 that they were going to completely focus on Infinity War stuff, but I guess they had already had these two in the pipeline, and they gave us some very clever reuse. They gave us, number one, a Dora Milaje member who came with some, this was a great idea to have her come with interchangeable faces. I think I actually do have a few of them with me. Whoops. Yeah, I almost dropped my accessory bin. Okay, so as far as interchangeable faces goes, our Dora Milaje member comes with, I always have her using Ao's face because that face just looks absolutely amazing. And also Ao as I would say the third most, or the second most recognizable member of the Dora Milaje for me. Okoye, of course, being the first one, but it also came with this one. Great looking as well. It came with a different one, the one that will take me a second to find. But you had 3 options for this figure as far as how you want to display them. So you could get 3 figures and have yourself at least a third of the Dora Milaje, I believe. I don't know if I have the second face actually with me right now. I think it might be in a separate bin. But yeah, no, anyways, y'all get it. This figure came with 2 interchangeable faces, so you had plenty of options on how you actually want to display her, which was a magnificent gift from the Marvel Legends team. It was a great idea, because they could have just given her a different face and just called it an Io figure, but they didn't. And also, I just love the deco on this piece. Look at that. This is the same basic mold as Nakia, even with, as the first Nakia, let me say, even with the shins here, as you can see, and the boots and everything. It's the same basic mold, but a nice little deco change, as you can see. You can see the differences here between these two. Ao's legs are far darker, got some red stripes on them, and it looks magnificent. So let me give y'all a second, y'all absorb that, y'all take that in. Because those 2 figures, I gotta say, having a completed Dora Milaje, it looks amazing. And I'm sure that the price of the Dora Milaje figure is going to go a little bit up once we get some Black Panther 2 trailer footage. Of course. But yeah, no, I love these 2 together. Look at that. That looks absolutely amazing. I wish I was actually able to finish my Okoye now, because I believe my Okoye, I got this far. Yeah, pretty sad, right? But yeah, so there we go. And the final figure of, well, no, second to final figure, Black Panther Wave 2. Here we got a T'Chaka wearing the ceremonial Black Panther armor. Of course, his is very different in the terms that he actually has some gold outlines, and he has his very nice sash. I believe this figure's legs are from some other figure, and the actual torso is reused from the 2016 Black Panther body mold. But other than that, I mean, shoot, this figure looks good. And I believe that the suit is actually, like, passed down itself, so that makes perfect sense. But yeah, no, T'Chaka looks great. And just the detailing on his sash is absolutely beautiful. Look at that, beautiful. And it's all the way around, too. the paint and everything. That is gorgeous. So I love how they did that. And the golden eyes too. Look at that. That looks great. But the final figure of this wave, in terms of purchasable piece, was this Black Panther, which is complete reissue of the 2016 version, which they have reissued. I think it's that they've released 3 times now, in terms of it being the exact same figure, inspired from the same, look of the character. But I mean, I'm not complaining about it, because I believe the first Black Panther figure that they did actually became very hard to find, especially in 2017 and towards then, because I remember I was actually looking for that suit of his, and I could not find one for a decent price back then. So I'm glad that they came out with this release. It looks absolutely amazing. I know that I've said that about all these figures so far, but hey, what can I say? This wave, this Black Panther movie line, it was some of Hasbro's best work in the respective years that they came out, I will say. And these really just set the standard for movie Marvel Legends, I'd say, personally. Because before this, of course, you had the Guardians wave, which was really good. But the Black Panther waves was when, like, the photoreal actually really started to step in and take over. And we got to sort of see how these figures were evolving. And just look at the detailing. One thing I love about Marvel Legends is how the detailing just continues all the way throughout the figure. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. And also I love the paint of silver that they used here on the necklace. So yeah, there's Black Panther. And of course the Build-A-Figure of this wave, a figure that they are also re-releasing with this Legacy collection, is M'Baku. All of these figures, by the way, have your standard Marvel Legends articulation, except for the ones that are hindered by, basically by like the plastic and the skirts. For example, your Dora Milaje members, they can't kick super far back. And M'Baku here, you can't really use those knees at all. You can make him kick up a little bit, but you don't get M'Baku into super dynamic poses anyway. Unless, of course, you have a shirtless version of him that fights Black Panther. But here, M'Baku, I just love the detailing on M'Baku. The sculpt on M'Baku is what blows me away. Look at that. Going all the way around. Imagine if these figures were released with pinless tech. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Back then, though, you couldn't really... Pins were something that, like, honestly, I didn't even notice up until they removed them. It's one of those things that you don't notice actually bothers you until it's gone. You know what I'm saying? That's what pins are. Sort of like an invisible itch. I say invisible itch, like you can see an itch, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's what pins are. But regardless, these figures were still absolutely gorgeous. And this M'Baku especially was, I feel like one of the best Build-A-Figures that they did that year. Because I believe other than that, the only figures that I completed from 2019, only other Build-A-Figures I completed for 2019 were the Molten Man and the Thanos. Oh, and as well as Bro Thor. And out of all those, I mean, the Thanos was fine, but the articulation was lacking. And, it wasn't super duper accurate. The Molten Man was, Molten Man, like, you know what I'm trying to say? I mean, it's a nice figure, but articulation and everything, the detail looked great. But as far as, like, Molten Man, it was just a golden blob. You know what I'm trying to say? This figure, actually, you can see the work that went into it. That looks great. Love M'Baku. Love the M'Baku Build-A-Figure. All right. But of course, a figure that was missing from both of these waves that a lot of people pointed out to Hasbro, like, where is she? It was Shuri. So this Shuri figure was what people were expecting to be released in the second Black Panther wave, because they had also announced her alongside the Black Panther figures. But lo and behold, the wave was announced and released, and she was not there. And it actually turned out that she was going to be a figure in... The plan was to always make her a figure that was going to be released in, I believe it was the second Avengers Endgame wave, along with the Smart Hulk Build-A-Figure. So, yeah, it was like, You had to wait a while to get yourself Black Panther's sister here. And when they released her, the deco was off. Her suit was never actually black like this. I don't know what happened. I mean, even the if I recall, even the packaging might have actually had the accurate paint for her. Maybe it didn't, but all I know is that these parts were actually blue. Something that they later addressed when they figured that they just released this year. But other than that, I mean, shoot, Shuri, great accessories. She has her little Jaguars, her Panther blasters, and it looks good. I like the way they clip on. This figure had a difficult time standing though. She could not stand up straight. Again, pose her dynamically if you really want her to be able to stand, but the face also looks pretty good. I don't think that this is some of their best work on this face, but it does look like Letitia Wright, and I'm sure that we're going to get a more updated Shuri figure soon. But yeah, that was a pretty good looking figure. Nice figure to add to Endgame Wave 3. Gotta say. Or Endgame Wave 2, excuse me. But lo and behold, just this year, we have a new updated decoed Shuri with the actual accurate blue deco. If you guys had seen my Infinity Saga wishlist video, the first one, I had a convention exclusive box set there, which was basically a Wakandan throne room set, and that one would come with a sort of a King T'Challa look, as well as a Ramonda, a Shuri with an updated deco. I made sure to emphasize that, and an Okoye. And really that pack was for us to get an updated Shuri. But with this Legacy collection, which is basically like an unofficial Infinity Saga line, we got our updated Shuri figure here. Of course, the exact same sculpt as this one. Zero sculpt differences as far as I know. Even this face is the same sculpt, but the face sculpt on this one and the tattoos, the face paint and everything just looks so much better. So much better. I feel like I might talk about the Legacy collection in a separate video. But as for that, look at that. Great looking. And I wonder what I'll do with this Shuri figure now. I think I might actually make it a, maybe an endgame version. Or even perhaps a version of her that just wears a Nike shirt. Maybe I'll get some custom clothes, 1/12 scale clothes off eBay. Turn this figure into a more casual looking Shuri. Street level looking Shuri. Because, you know, she's that type of character to walk around wearing a Nike jacket. She invented sneakers, after all. You know what I'm saying? Whew. But as to touch on this Legacy line real quick, here are the two that I have so far. So I have Shuri and I have Nakia. So if you want to take a look at our 2018 Nakia compared to this one, I believe that they have the same face sculpt. Both of these look like Lupita to me. These both look like Lupita, as you can see. I feel like the one on the right might actually look a little bit more like her though. The one on the left looks like Nakia still, but except like the one I think I like the one on the right's the facial expression more. Did I just say Lukia? Lupita. There we go. So you guys can pick your poison with that. But one thing I do appreciate about the one on the left is, of course, she has some updated sculpt around the boots, and the paint deco is just so much better. So, meaning that I can take this one, pop off this head. Ooh, that was actually hard to snap off, I can't even lie. And take one of our Dora Milaje heads. Boom. And you have yourself another door. Bam, that looks good. Okay, so we put the door back there, and then we take our Ayo figure. Boom. Some Dora Milaje warriors right there. That's beautiful. There's a nice looking group photo with all of the characters. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me, what did you think about the Black Panther movie line? Are there any figures from this line that are your favorite? Because I know that if you're here, you at least have one of them, right? You at least have one Black Panther character. And of course, tell me, what would you like to see from the Black Panther movie, or the second Black Panther movie? A wave 2 of them, perhaps. Maybe, perhaps, I mean, of course, I don't know, we don't have much to go off of this movie, and maybe we'll have more to say about that once SDCC comes around. But with this Legacy Collection line, tell me, do you think that you prefer to have these updated decos, or do you think that you would have been fine staying with the versions that you already have? Me personally, I say that this new Legacy Collection line is for newer collectors, but of course, me being an MCU person, you know, it's kind of hard to get me not to buy those figures. You know what I'm trying to say? Especially the Shuri. The Shuri I was definitely gonna get. I've been waiting for something like that for a while. And then Nakia just looks absolutely phenomenal. But you know, other than that, I mean, I believe that this line, if you want to get yourself a Black Panther movie line and you want to complete that sort of that round table of characters, that Legacy Collection line is for you. But of course, if you're somebody like me or like other collectors who just want the newer, sort of newer figures, updated versions of these characters, that's right around the corner with the wave 2 of Black Panther, or with the second Black Panther movie wave, of course, Wakanda Forever wave. And hopefully soon enough, we'll see a Marvel Legends MCU Namor. That would be awesome. And a Riri Williams and Ironheart, everything like that. But as for this movie line, I think Hasbro did a great job. This was some of the movie figures at their best. All of these face sculpts look absolutely amazing. And I gotta say, this makes me excited for how they're going to represent Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm hoping that we get a lot of figures from that movie. I'd love to see who takes up the mantle. And of course, I'd love to see how Hasbro handles the Black Panther sort of side of the universe with these new technologies that they have, this new updated pinless tech. And I just love to see the costume design again, of course. The costume design for this movie, let me just reiterate, the costume design was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, take a look at this mask right here. Look at that. All right. Oh, whoops. Take a look at this mask here. Of course, this is the Civil War version, but just the Black Panther costume design is just absolutely phenomenal. This is not focusing in. Here. Let me try to hold it like this. No. No, come on, child. Focusing on that mask. Maybe not today. Anyways, y'all know what I'm trying to say. The costume design in this movie was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see how they handle the new Black Panther movie. So thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, this was really just an excuse for me to get another Marvel Legends video out. I think the last Marvel Legends thing I talked about was the Thor movie. But, of course, you know, this new Reflection series, I feel like it might be a great opportunity for this channel to be able to get to talk about some other figures from different movies that I wasn't actually able to get to. So I'm excited to see where we can go with this. But, of course, for the 50th time, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. I think next time for the Reflection series, we might do Guardians of the Galaxy. If I ever get around to that, to getting that Disney Parks exclusive set. Shop Disney does a lot of discounts from time to time. If I can get that set on a discount, yeah, that would be the anthem for the channel. Oh, I'm not going to say thank you again. You guys already know that I'm very grateful for y'all's viewership. Stay safe out there and always remember to be the best. And I'll see you all next time. Later.